All right, so today we're looking at doing double stops in the key of E. And I ain't got no particular lick per se today, but basically this is just wrapping your brain around how to use double stops in a song, basically. And here's three things you should learn right away. You should learn how to play your major scale three different ways with three different double stops. I'm going to start with the E and the B string. And basically, let me just give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. If I'm playing like a riff in E, all that was double stops, and I'll show you how to at least wrap your brain around what's going on here, what you should at least learn and start utilizing yourself. So, start with your root, and in this case, we're on the B and the E string. So your ring or your middle finger is going to be on the fifth fret of the B, which is that's an E note, right? And then your index finger is going to be on the fourth fret of the E string. That just forms an E double stop, basically. And if you know your major scale, you know it goes E, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A, B, C sharp minor, E flat diminished, and E. So we're going to create all those in double stop format. You're starting with your 1. You go into your 2. So now you have your ring finger on the 7th fret of the B string, and your index is on the 5th fret of the E string. So you got, move that whole thing up a whole step. Go back to the original shape. Your middle finger being on the 10th fret of the B and the 9th fret of the E. So far you got. And it's cool to just kind of pluck that E string in the back so you know you're playing the right ones. And then lastly we got, or not lastly, but almost. You're going to move that up a whole step. So your middle finger on the 12th fret of the B. Your first finger on the 11th fret of the E, and then you're going to go ring finger on the 14th fret of the B and your first finger on the 12th fret of the E. So far, move that up a whole step, and then just back to the octave. So. And then that's your major scale and double stops. After you've got that down, now learn it on the G and the B string. And I don't mean just playing the exact thing because that won't, the exact shapes, because it won't work out. So what you're going to do here is we're going to start here. And basically your first finger is going to be on the first fret of the G, and then you're playing the B string open, forming another E double stop. Now you're going to go to like an A shape. You can bar that, or you could do this. So basically it's just you're barring G string and B on the 2nd fret. Move that up a whole step. Now back to the first shape, which is your middle finger on the 4th fret, or I'm sorry, the 6th fret of the G, and your index on the 5th fret of the B. So. And then you're going to move that up a whole step. So. And then you're going to go to, and this is basically, you're just back to an E shape here. So you're going to bar the 9th fret of the G and the B. Then you're going to go to the 11th fret of the G and the 10th fret of the B. And then move that up a whole step, and you're back to your octave. So you have this. And that is how you do that with the G and the B string. So let's just review the whole thing. Lastly, we're going to do this on the D and the G string. And this is pretty much identical to the B and the E string, but you're doing it on the D and the G string. So your middle finger on the second fret of the D, your first finger on the first fret of the G. That's another E, basically forming an E chord. And then your ring finger on the fourth fret of the D, your first finger on the second fret of the G. Move that up a whole step. Go back to that original shape with your ring finger on the seventh of the D, index on the sixth fret of the G. Move it up a whole step. So far we got. And then you're going to go back to this shape. Your ring finger is on the 11th fret of the D, and your index is on the 9th fret of the G. Move that a whole step. And then back to the original shape, the octave. So the octave is just middle finger on the 14th fret of the D and index on the 13th fret of the G. So you got. So we'll run through it all. We basically just ran through that in different octaves and different shapes. But once you have that under your belt, you can start moving the shapes around with your scales. So you could start doing stuff like... And I'm just basically, sliding into things. And I'm just moving it around, and you can just have fun with this one. Just explore different options. All right, and that's that.